What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the 2025 Hyundai Elantra N-Line. This one's finished in intense blue. MSRP is $30,400. Big shout out to Flo Hyundai of Statesville for providing this new Elantra N-Line for today's video. Check out their website, linked down below. Underneath the hood of the 2025 Hyundai Elantra N-Line, you're going to find a 1.6 liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. This makes 201 horsepower with 195 pound-feet of torque. It is only front-wheel drive, however it either has a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. Curb weight is just over 3,000 pounds. 0 to 60 is going to come in between 7 seconds and 7.7 seconds, depending on the transmission. It also has a 12.4 gallon fuel tank, and you can expect 28 miles per gallon in the city with 35 out on the highway for this automatic. The overall length is 184.1 inches with a wheelbase at 107.1. Width is 71.9 and height is 55.7 inches. Taking a look at the styling now with the Elantra N-Line, this is definitely a pretty sporty looking car. I like all these sharp angles to it. Really cool looking car, especially with these LED headlights, as you can see. You can see them light up a little bit, nice in line with the silver trim on the front. You're going to see the dark housing and then all this gloss black for the front bumper, a little bit of silver trim throughout it. Got your N-Line badge, Hyundai logo on the front portion, and then more of this silver trim all down below with a massive opening to provide cooling to that intercooler. You can see just how it has all these cool sharp lines, and I like how the hood leads into the upper front bumper. Got some sharp body lines throughout the hood as well, leading towards the windshield. Has a great style. I think it is pretty aggressive, definitely a performance focused looking compact car. And then at the side profile, you're going to see more of these contours throughout the side of the front bumper. Cool set of 18-inch wheels with a unique multi-spoke design, sharp body line throughout it, and then our N-Line badge as well. Really sharp lines throughout the side profile with an aggressive side skirt finished in gloss black. I like the Y shape you're going to see throughout that. All gloss black trim throughout the windows, and then you can see black on the mirror cab with an LED turn signal. You're going to get body colored door handles, no window in the back, however you have some nice trim, and then up above, shark fin antenna with a sunroof. For the side profile, it's a pretty good proportion for a car with some more sharp lines all throughout it. I like how the lines in the door cut into the ones that lead to the taillights. For all that, you can see these sharp lines cutting into the trunk, where you're going to get a lip spoiler mounted here, finished in black. Very sloping rear end into the rear. Backup camera, Hyundai badge, trunk release, and Elantra is written out. Nice design for the taillights with some halogen bulbs, some LED as well, giving it a nice modern appearance. I like how the red illuminates the entire rear end. You can see more of these sharp lines throughout it. Dual exhaust on the side with some body lines throughout the lower diffuser. And overall, it comes together. It's a unique style car and pretty aggressive for its price point. Taking a look at the key fob, you're going to get the Hyundai logo in it, lock, unlock, remote start, as well as the hold button for the panic. If I go ahead and lock the car, you can just keep the key fob in your pocket. Grabbing the handle, it'll automatically unlock, and we can take a look at the interior. You're going to get primary cloth, however, you're going to get this synthetic leather material all throughout it. For the door panel, has a nice black design. You're going to get just some hard plastic up above, and then this soft touch vinyl with nice red stitching. Leading to one of the tweeters, you have our release handle, then a smooth design with all of your controls. Just a tad bit of padding, kind of hard, but just a little padding. Then we have our grab handle and storage all down below with a Bose audio. You're going to get your trunk button along with the fuel cap release and power controls for the seat. And then we have the smooth synthetic leather with the contrast stitching and a sporty design for all the fabric with a really cool texture to it on the side bolsters. Moving towards the back, nice bolsters to it as well with the N logo. And then you can see the smooth material for that headrest and a sunroof up above. Got a nice round leather steering wheel with perforations throughout the side and extra contrast stitching. And then now inside the 2025 Hyundai Elantra N-Line, keep my foot on the brake. Let's go ahead and fire it up. For the gauge cluster, you're going to get a nice digital display where you can configure it. You can scroll left and right, see all sorts of different things that are going to pop up. Then scrolling up and down through this menu, you can see a digital speed readout and a few more things. Nice design for the full digital display. We have this toggle over here for our drive mode. You can get a sport mode, smart mode, and then back into the normal mode. So pretty cool display overall. For the steering wheel, we got the Hyundai logo right in the center, extra controls on the left side for Bluetooth and audio. We also have cruise control settings on the right. You can see our lane keeping and steering intervention, and a nice set of paddle shifters for the automatic version. Behind that, you are going to get the stock for turn signals, as well as windshield wiper controls and headlights. And then down below, we have traction control along with interior dimming. This kind of slopes together, a little bit of ambient lighting. Then up above, just some smooth material for the dashboard. Has a nice look, somewhat of a soft touch. Then you can see how we have some nice striping going throughout the air vents with more of the ambient lighting. For the multimedia screen, basically what you're used to seeing on any modern Hyundai, you can see all the different tiles that'll pop up. We have more controls right here. You can go back to your profile setting, and then if I go ahead and pop it into reverse, get a nice backup camera with your top-down view. You can even have the nav system pop up too. So pretty decent use, looks pretty good overall. Down below that, you're gonna get extra shortcuts. You can see the map, different shortcuts for radio, things like that. Volume right in the center with the start button, and then all of our climate controls. You are gonna get dual zone temperature that you can sync. We have fan speed, heated seats, all the defrosters as well. Wireless phone charging down below with all of your plugs. And then I like the red striping for the shifter. You can see the leather shift boot. Shortcut to the camera system as well, which is a great touch to see. And I like this wraparound design with the grab handle. Looks very cool. You can see 2 cup holders, manual park and brake, and then a little bit of extra storage all throughout the center. Glove box on the far right side pops open with a large amount of space. And then one last look at the interior. Nice interior for the price point, honestly. It's a pretty sporty interior overall. Lots of plastics, but overall it feels pretty good for what you would expect. And then up above, you're going to see another look at the sunshade for the sunroof, and then all of your controls with a basic mirror. And then moving on to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, door panel's finished off very simple, just finished in a hard plastic, got a little bit of the soft touch grab handle and release handle. And then the rear seats are all like the front with the nice synthetic leather, the cool stitching designs. And then you can see all the textures to the cool fabric. This can seat 3 people. The center seat, you can pull this down and you're gonna get a nice armrest along with 2 cup holders. And then for amenities, you're just gonna get the 2 plugs down below. So sitting in the back of the Elantra N-Line at 5'11", my hair just barely touches the ceiling, but my head doesn't. With the driver's seat at my height, I have really good legroom and knee room, actually several inches. Pretty comfortable space overall. One design element that's a little interesting, there is no extra window back here like most sedans are gonna have. So it does give it a little bit more of a compact feeling. You don't have that extra light let in. But overall, this is pretty roomy. The backrest that is at a good angle. The armrest is nice to see. So honestly, if you're gonna buy this for more of a family-focused sedan, even for adults back here, it seems pretty practical. Moving on to the trunk space, there's gonna be a small button right here you can press and then manually lift open the trunk. This has 14.2 cubic feet of cargo space. As you can tell, it's pretty roomy in here with a nice wide floor, very low as well. Got a cargo net on this specific car. And then if you pull this up the floor, you aren't gonna get a spare tire. However, you do have the inflator kit and your tow hook back here. From here, we have these manual pull tabs. We can go ahead and pull and then manually pop down the seats. And with them folded down, you can see how they fold nice and flat with recessed latches. So pretty useful and practical car for its size. And then from here, you only have a small bump in there. So overall, the Elantra N-Line does seem like a pretty practical family sedan for people and cargo. So setting off now in the Elantra N-Line. So not bad, you got a little bit of pep from the turbo engine, and with the dual clutch transmission, it's actually pretty zippy. It's a pretty comfortable driving car too. If you just toggle it back down into the normal mode, automatic and everything, it's comfortable and livable. Really nothing hard about driving it. It's an easy car to operate. Really comfortable seats too, good visibility all around over your left and right shoulder. Really no complaints or anything like that. It's just an easy normal car. Now you can get the manual, of course, if you want a little bit more engagement. The automatic though, kind of does what you need it to do. It's smooth to drive, it's really easy to operate. Pretty quiet in here too. It feels like a nice car, especially for the price point. You know, it has a little bit of that refinements. A little bit of traction issues getting up and going slowly in the wetter roads. But this could absolutely be just a normal daily. It's got the nice tech, the comfort, the room. So pretty cool car overall, just to kind of cruising. A little interesting to have to reach so far for the drive mode. And then depending on how you're in the manual mode or automatic mode, it will kind of differentiate which mode it lets you go into. So right now we can let it do automatic or take manual control, shifting down here or on the paddles. It's got a good amount of power. It's not a fast car, obviously. However, it's still zippy to get up and move and have a bit of fun. The handling and things like that, now this is not the full N, the actual Elantra N. That is a step up with more power, more performance. So this one's basically the normal Elantra, just making it a bit more sporty and without making it break the bank too much. So this one, the handling feels pretty good. The steering, I wouldn't say is truly performance focused. It's definitely a bit vague, and there's a little bit of body roll I'm noticing. So it's not any, high-end sports car or anything like that. But if you want to have some fun with this and just maybe get into the entry point of more spirited driving with something affordable and fun enough, this is kind of at that price point and performance level. It's got a snappy transmission. The gear changes are really responsive when you are using the paddles, so it has that fun factor to where, if you want an entry-level sporty sedan, the Elantra N-Line does give you a good blend of everything. I like the snappy transmission. Of course, the 6-speed would be a fun choice too if you want, that other level. But taking the turns, it's decently confident. Something that you can have some fun in going around turns like that. And then, of course, when you tone it back down into either smart or normal, the car tones down. Now, the drive modes don't really do much. It's not a crazy amount of differences with everything in this car. However, you're going to notice a bit more throttle response, a bit more aggressive transmission tuning. So normal driving, it's a great daily, and then you have the fun factor to get a little bit of power out of it. Merging on highways, things like that isn't going to be an issue. Even when you're in just the normal mode, if you give it some throttle, that turbo's got a nice bit of boost to where you're going to get up and go. It's a pretty comfortable car. It definitely feels very normal. I'd say the refinement level is pretty up there. It actually absorbs bumps well. The seats are padded. It's a nice place to be, and you have really good visibility all around. So really can't complain with just normal driving. It seems to do it all. I like the more driver-centered cockpit. It feels pretty neat with this design and everything. So it's a cool interior for sure. If we go ahead and pop it into the sport mode, sport transmission as well, manual mode. Not bad. Now, the manual, of course, probably is going to give it a little bit more of the engagement level that I'm really interested in. However, the snappy dual clutch is pretty fun and gives you the ability to daily drive this on the day-to-day with bumper-to-bumper traffic, and you don't have to worry about stick shifting in traffic, which is not that fun all the time. But as far as the sporty aspects go for the N-Line, again, it's not the full N, but the N-Line still gives you a good amount of zip. So handling and everything, decently composed. We're going 45, 50 around a turn. The turbo power, I feel like it's kind of a slower acceleration. It doesn't feel as punchy, as zippy as I might like for something like this. So that could be one drawback. It's not as quick to respond. But again, it's not the full N, so you kind of got to forgive it a little bit. The steering in the sport mode doesn't really feel all too much different. It's just a decent, well-rounded car with a sporty touch. Again, it's not a sports car by any means, but it has the responsiveness you would appreciate in more expensive cars, especially given the transmission available. So it's cool to have that aspect to it. It still is a pretty confident and comfortable ride, even in the sport mode. So it's certainly not a back-breaking car at all. It's just a good all-around normal car that has kind of a fun touch to it without going crazy, not only for the price point, but not going crazy for just what it is. So it's an easy car to drive. As we come down to a standstill, the brakes are adequate. Again, it's just kind of a normal car at the end of the day with a little bit of extra pep. Spinning the tire a little bit with the damp road conditions. So it doesn't really seem to have that extra top end. I feel like some other cars at this price point maybe get a little bit more punchy out of it. That's probably my one drawback with this as far as what it's trying to be. But again, this is mid-level, Hyundai Elantra. It's not the craziest one out there. A little bit of torque steer if you gun it a bit more. All right, so getting back up to speed, again, adequate power, really can't complain. I think what I'm finding with the Elantra N-Line, it has a lot more refinements than maybe some other cars. So that's a cool touch. And it seems like just a nice car overall. If you're looking for a good, affordable daily, the Elantra throughout the whole price spectrum and trim spectrum, seems like there's probably gonna be one that would fit any buyer. You're not really gonna break the bank, and you're gonna get something very well-rounded to be used for any circumstance. This is probably just a good all-around point A to point B car. And when you hop into the N-Line, you get that extra sporty touch just to give it a bit more fun factor without breaking the bank. So that is it for the 2025 Hyundai Elantra N-Line. Big shout out to Flo Hyundai of Statesville. Big shout out to them. Check out their website, linked down below. And if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content. I'll see you all in the next video.